Hello and welcome back to Music Cipher Lessons. My name is Krista Cake. I am here to explain patterns in music theory, music instruments, and music software. So here we are. We're going to explain the pattern of the major Ionian scale formula. And the first thing we need to do to understand what that is or what that even means is to understand the difference between half steps and whole steps. So if you take a look at this free PDF, please feel free to download it. We're going to go ahead and look over here on the keyboard. Here I am starting on like my third group of 2 here on the keyboard. And we're just going to look at this first scale here where we've got the group of 2 here, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can use your pointer finger to push it, doesn't really matter. Or you can play the scale the way you learned in the last video if you've been keeping up. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so if you look at the half step is the smallest step you can make on the keyboard, regardless of where you start. So from C, a half step is going, if I'm going up, it's to the very next note. So it could be white or black. Half steps. So there's 2 half steps from a white note to a white note on the keyboard, and that is an E to an F. You can see there's no black note in between, or from B to C. So to practice starting on any note and going up a half step. So if I'm going here, my half step would be here. If I'm going up from here, half step here. If I'm going from here, half step, half steps. Actually, the half step is the Jaws theme, if you know that one. It's just E and F, just half step, half step. So if you're thinking about how, is there a way that I can know that it's a half step? Well, it's going to sound like the Jaws theme. A whole step is 2 half steps, is a way you can actually calculate it. So like half step from this note, half step. So that makes a whole step. That's sort of confusing. So I like to think of it's a step up to a next note. Could be white or black, but there's a note in between. Like in this case, from C to D, I've got that flat C sharp or D flat in between here. Here's another one. If we're starting here, D flat to E flat or C sharp to D sharp, we've got this white note in between. Or if I'm going from here, so E to F is a half step, right? Da, da, right? So a whole step is going from this white note to the black note, but it's got this white note in between. So the major scale pattern, or Ionian, another word for it is Ionian, is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I think 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half. So the way you want to do it is you don't count your starting note as a step. So here's a way you can look at it. The C scale is easy because you see 2 black notes and 3 black notes. So you think you press the first note, and then you go from there. Whole step, there's my 2 wholes, and now I need a half step. And then from here I need 3 wholes. Whole, 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 half. So you can try this from anywhere. Let's make sure it works from the next example in the pattern, which is the scale of G. So it's going from G to G. We push the G note, whole step, whole step. Now I've got 2 wholes, I need a half. There's my half. That's a great natural half from B to C. And then I need 3 wholes and a half. So whole, 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 half. Okay. 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half. All right. Let's finish this video up. Let's keep going. Let's go do something harder. The last one on this piece of paper here that you're going to have is the D flat scale. So we're starting on D flat, which is our first of the group of 2. So let's try it. 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half, right? So push the note first, because this is just a starting note. There's no step to it, right? So push the note, then whole step, whole step. Now we need a half. And then 3 wholes and a half. So whole, 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 half. Let's do one real crazy just for the sake of trying something crazy, because why not? So how about, what's like the craziest one that people hate? I would say A flat. For some reason, everybody hates that scale. So let's start on A flat and let's see if this pattern works everywhere. Let's just confirm that it does. So I'm starting on A flat, which is the middle of my group of 3. I push the note down first. Push it first. We need 2 wholes, then a half, then 3 wholes, then a half, right? Okay. Push it down, whole step, whole step, then a half step. And then we need 3 wholes and a half, 1 whole, 2 whole, 3 whole, 1 half. You can even just do your pointer finger. It doesn't matter. I don't even care. Who cares? Just try to understand it. So this is another way of approaching scales and key signatures. You can find the notes in any key signature this way too. You don't need some trick. You can just know the formula behind it or the pattern, which is really great. So from there, you can know other things like if I know my C major scale, my key signature, right? To make it minor, I flat the 3rd note, the 6th note, and the 7th note. And then I can do that for any scale that I know from there. But yeah, that's just a little bit further advanced. But, you know, if you're a person who likes to connect the dots all the way, then why not? So my challenge for you is to try to just start on any random note and just see if you can figure it out. Start on F sharp, start on E flat, start on a note, see how it feels to find the whole steps and half steps. So just to review, we've got half steps, there's no note in between, and a step is like we're talking about the distance between one note to the next note, right? So a single note is not a step by itself. That's why we always start with the note and then go. And a whole step is 2 half steps from the starting note. Okay? Half step, whole step. Right here. Whole step, whole step. You can go up or down. Down, down a whole step. You can also do something interesting by practicing the whole tone scale. Whole tone scale, you can do either these C, D, E underneath the group of 2 and then the group of 3. It's a whole tones all the way through. Dream sequences, they'll do whole tone scales, or sometimes jazz will use whole tone scales. Chromatic scale or a full half tone scale is all 12 semitones or half steps. Let's just move it up and down in half steps. So the reason why we have the Ionian scale is just a good way to figure out what key you're in, and it's a great starting point. So I highly recommend figuring out all 12 Ionian scales. And you can use the circle of fifths to start and to figure out what it is. So like if you're looking on the circle of fifths and you don't want to use the order of flats or sharps in the method from the circle of fifths video, which I can link in the description, you can just start on the E flat and then do, okay, there's that, and then 2 holes, 1, 2, and then a half, 3 holes, and a half. Okay, that's all the time we have tonight. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please message me. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful for you. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. Bye.